General Mike Flynn says he is ready to serve as Donald Trump's new national security advisor to replace Mike Waltz, who was trying to push the Trump administration into conflict with Iran. This is what he tweeted. And then we have a video of him on the Benny Johnson show talking about the possibility of him being the next national security advisor. And I got to say, would that just be absolutely cathartic to see General Mike Flynn back in a position in the Trump administration? I am 100% for this. He said, for over 4 decades, I've dedicated my life to serving this great nation from the battlefields of Afghanistan and Iraq to the halls of Washington. Whether in uniform, in government, or as a private citizen, my commitment to America and its people has never wavered. I've faced challenges, taken hits, and become stronger, always driven by a deep love for this country and its values. This love for our nation, for its people, and for its values is what fuels my commitment. If called upon, I'll protect our nation's security and ensure our enemies know we mean business. But no matter where I stand, inside or outside government, I'll keep fighting for the America we all cherish. That's my promise, and I am not done yet. So that is a absolutely impeccable example of an American right there, Michael Flynn. He is a true American hero. And here he is on the Benny Johnson show responding to these rumors about a possibility of him replacing Mike Waltz as the new national security advisor. Take a listen.
So I want to put up this post from you yesterday that excited our production team very much. You said, I am ready to serve. Now, the national security advisor role is open as of last week. And you were in that role and you served in that role. And if you don't mind me framing it this way, until the deep state took you out as enemy number one. And now you're saying that you are prepared to re-enter that role. That's first question. Question number 2, have you been contacted by President Trump to re-enter the White House as the national security advisor?
So answer to question number 1, yes. Answer to question number 2, no. And I've been watching everything and listening and observing, intensely, because, I do believe, as I just, went through my diatribe with you, I do believe that we are in a place where we cannot afford to have, as Trump likes to say, unforced errors. We cannot afford to drop a glass ball right now. And I'm a guy, I'm serving now, Benny, I'm serving now. I serve in just a different way. I have been engaging people in government. I'm still out doing stuff. So I'm serving. And I think that's my message to every American is, how are you serving this country? Because every American needs to serve this country, whether you're inside the government or outside the government. But, I'm a guy with a lot of background, a lot of skills. And, and I didn't, go off into the sunset and go, woe is me. I'm paying close attention to what's happening, around the world and certainly in our country. And I know we have great leaders out there. We have a lot of great leaders that want to serve inside the government. I mean, there's a lot of people that have reached out to me to help, get their name put forward for some position in the government. And I've done that, and I've let it be known. So, at this point in time, the president has, he's got a decision to make, and whatever he does, I'm going to continue to fight for this country. That's, frankly, I don't know, maybe I'm designed that way. Maybe I'm designed differently. That's the way I was raised. I was, born on an Army base. I served in the military all my adult life. I've been to combat. I know the world. I've lived on, or been or visited certainly on 6 continents. I served in different critical jobs. And yeah, is there a group of people in the deep state that fear me? You damn right they do. They fear me for a good reason. The media, you think
that's
the media?
Right.
Oh my God, the mainstream media would blow a gasket. I would love to just see that, and
that would be the most entertaining thing to watch. Mike Flynn appointed to this national security advisor role, and then the mainstream media's, their heads explode one by one.
And whatever. But I do know exactly. I know what I'm talking about, and I know what I would do. That I can guarantee.
I don't know how long you had to pose for this photo, but this is just a great angle. And I'm not sure why Trump keeps you in the glass like that. It doesn't seem particularly comfortable, but maybe it's time. Do you have any news to break on this program, General Flynn?
Well, I would say to you, Benny, that if I am ready, okay, so I am ready to come out of that glass. That is for sure. There's no doubt about it. I actually think that the nation, and Trump is doing wonderful things, but what Chairman Comer just talked about, and among other things, we are still in a massive, massive ideological war going on in this country, and there are not going to be any friendlies. If we get to another election and we lose the majority in the House of Representatives, okay, never mind, the next presidential election.
So there is Michael Flynn responding to these rumors. Now, there has been put out a list of potential replacements for National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and unfortunately, Mike Flynn was not on the list. However, sometimes, and actually quite often, Donald Trump, he will throw out a wild card and he'll pick someone that no one even assumed. Some of these people that were listed as potential replacements were people like Steve Witkoff, Rick Grinnell. There was Elise Stefanik, as well as a few others. Stephen Miller was one of the big ones, and this is actually apparently the front runner. As Donald Trump said just a couple days ago, he said outside, I believe he was either exiting or entering Air Force One here, but Trump said that Stephen Miller is at the top of the totem pole and saying that he already indirectly has the job. Of course, Marco Rubio, I believe, is now the interim national security advisor. But here's Donald Trump talking about Stephen Miller potentially, indirectly having the job. So what does that mean? Is the next thing that is going to take place with this position going to be him taking the role? I love Stephen Miller. I think he's fantastic. But really, Michael Flynn would just be the absolute choice, the perfect person for the position. If Donald Trump really wants to put these globalists, the mainstream media, the radical left on notice, if he wants to send a message, he's got to put Mike Flynn back in a position like this, because Mike Flynn is he is a true American who deserves to be on our government. But here is Donald Trump talking about Stephen Miller potentially serving as the next national security advisor.
We're going to be naming someone, but we'll make it. I would say within 6 months. He would do the job permanently, but I think it's an appropriate job.
Are you considering Stephen Miller?
Stephen Miller is at the top of the totem pole. I think he sort of indirectly already has that job. You understand? Because he has a lot to say about a lot of things. He's a very valued person in the administration, Stephen Miller. We're going to be naming someone.
I want a reporter to ask Donald Trump about General Mike Flynn. Hey, Trump, would you consider Mike Flynn for this position? I want to hear what Donald Trump has to say, because the headlines would be gold. So I'm sure Donald Trump would have nothing but nice things to say about General Mike Flynn. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think are the odds that Mike Flynn could potentially be our national security advisor? What would you think about that? Let me know down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.